There's nothing wrong with growth. Just know when you grow, you're gonna feel some pain. That pain is to remind you that you're alive. You're alive.
Just another log from the fire I burn with. My position in this war, player, I earned this. We never get destroyed, we only get more firm. I pray your feet don't fail whenever it's your turn. Just another log from the fire I burn with. I love hard and never get the same in return. That's a war scar. Though I may complain, I still learn to get more smart. If knowledge can make you rich, I got off to a poor start. Yeah, the many lessons that got intercepted, the teaching moments we never known. I'm at God's table, placing my order for a better home, but ain't no retries. You live, you die, Nah, what you lacking? I don't normally speak on a drama. Instead of traditions, we be like Steve Nash with the trauma. We pass it down, mask it down till it's caps and gowns. Carry the load and then explode like what happened now. Message to my younger self, never watch porn. Your natural understanding about affection might just be affected. Most of our fathers never bothered to give us the drill. Birds and bees came from Brian Pumper and Lexington Steel. Logs from the fire I burn with. The fear of not doing enough for my kids got me doing too much thinking. It motivates me to stick around till the casket close. I'm careful not to rehearse the actions I was shown. I was born from a concrete soil. That's a hard heart. I can duplicate the pain, reproduce the same, but I won't though. Imagine what you don't know. It's fuel for my desire. I just treat it like it's fuel to the fire. These are logs from the fire I burn with. My position in this war, player, I earned this. You won't die, and flaws don't kill. We all gon' heal. Patience is key for you to endure. Open and see. It ain't no need for you to hate yourself. You will make a mess if you could recreate yourself. Almost any storm can shake a temple if it's built on sand. Anything less than rock solid, then it just won't stand. This a log from the fire I burn with. My position in this war, player, I earned this. We never get destroyed, we only get more firm. I pray your feet don't fail whenever it's your turn.
Pain is to remind you. Alive.
Most people just wear clothes, but some wear a message, a reminder of who we are and who we stand for. This isn't fast fashion, it's covenant, it's culture, it's identity, built with purpose, designed to last, created for those who refuse to blend in. When you step out, let your garments speak. Before you do, join the movement.
I'm wearing an Israelites brand.
That's when I be yelling, I'm Jew by blood. Y'all dudes not us. And I don't believe in y'all, but in y'all I trust. I'm just a common coolie commandment keeper. I know it's hard to live righteously in the land of evil. They got you feeling like damaged goods around damaged people. And truly life is a movie, just can't demand a sequel. Verily, all you hypocrites, heresies and Pharisees only fear God, so I know the devil's scared of me. They stole us from our land, they stole our land.
Coming with a mouthful of gold and gold chains around our neck.
That's why they think of airing me, saying what God's saying, like a parakeet preparing for the
Shop the
land,
collection
like
now
Jeremy,
before it sells out. Click the link below and secure yours today.
I hope y'all like that. That was Supplication by Roy the Chef. It's dangerous out here. I hope you guys make it home safe.
Yo, check it out. You ain't worried about that.
Yo, what was that about?
Don't worry about it. You wouldn't understand.
Welcome to Pillars of Rest, where you can find special material for our sisters, by our sisters. This is a Sons of Thunder exclusive platform focused on building, encouraging, uplifting, and engaging with the daughters of Zion. Here you'll find personalized and interactive content geared towards showing what it truly means to be a pillar of rest. Interviews, scripture breakdowns, tips on motherhood, marriage, and testimonials are just the beginning of the many things to learn from and enjoy in this program.
Brought to a lower state, you must learn to be patient. You come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. Who trusted Yah and was misled and not past generations. No one forsaken, you mistaken if you ain't obeying. No lying on no talebearing. Get thee behind me, Satan. That's my brother, no bloodshed. Get thee behind me, Satan. No idolatry, no
Yeah.
To wrestle against the evils of this world, because the scriptures say what? We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and evil and wickedness in the high places, man. Right? That's what you're fighting against, man.
God calls the evil the bomb, the medicine, something to ease our spirit, something to ease our soul. Where's the medicine for our land? Where's the medicine for our people today? But we got it right here.
When you come into this truth, you gotta know what you're signing up for. That's why the scriptures say what? If you come to serve the Lord, prepare yourself for temptation. That's how you come to talk that power. Right? That's
right. That purges you and makes you clean physically. But this is a great parable of purging.
Live longer. We here for what we here for. What you here for? The story to tell. I don't know where my story gonna end, but if I wake up, I'll do it again. I just gotta live longer.
Yo, shalom, yasha'Allah, shalom. I'm back with another Tuesday. All praise to the Most High God. I'm your host, Captain Ayad Lawyer. Today we got Captain Kwabza Allah out of SOT Chicago. And we got the good brother, Soldier Elon, with us tonight. Give it up for yourselves for being back on another True Tuesday. All praises. All praises. All praises, right? I'm trying to get... Sorry, family. I'm trying to get my, my light working right, but like it's not gonna work. So, I just need new gear, man. I need all kinds of new gear. It's fine. I'll get it eventually. All right. All praise to the Most High, man. We are back for another True Tuesday. All right. Y'all know how we do. Just got a couple announcements to make. Make sure that y'all send in y'all email to sotfeastday@gmail.com if you wish to feast with us. That be new moons or, high holy days, like tabernacles, Pentecost, Passover, things of that nature. Send us an email to sotfeastday@gmail.com so that we can send you the information that you need. All right. Our next feast day is August 12th. That's the new moon, the 6th month, August 12th. All right. And then you have the Feast of Trumpets coming up September 10th, as well as the 7th month, September 10th. All right. Then you got Day of Atonement, September 19th. Then you got Feast of Tabernacles, September 24th through the 30th. All right. So please email sotfeastday@gmail.com so you can get all the information that you need. All right. For my brothers that want to do the work of the Lord, make sure you send an email to sotisraelites@gmail.com, expressing interest in joining the next prospect phase, as the work is plenteous, right? But the laborers are few. Therefore, pray for more laborers. All right. We got to pray for more laborers in this work, man, as you see the days are drawing nigh, right? The days are drawing nigh, but at each passing moment, it seems as though we may be inching closer and closer to a race war. Yes, I said it. You've heard it here, folks. You've heard it here first, folks. It seems though we are inching closer and closer to a race war. All right. And that will be in accordance with prophecy anyway. All right. So, all things that are written of in prophecy that are meant to come to pass, we await for those things to happen. Right. We're not surprised when those things happen, but rather our faith is increased when we see prophecy unfold itself. So, don't let the current climate of the world discourage you or put you in a state of fearfulness, but rather let it strengthen up your faith and your comfort in the Lord. Let it be known that his works are real. All right. For my sisters that want to do the work of the Lord, make sure you send an email to pillarsofrest@gmail.com, expressing interest in joining the next prospect phase for the pillars. All right. So that you can do the work of the Lord in your own feminine way. Okay. Make sure that y'all are tuning in to our Patreon. We had some of the best Patreon lineup, I would say, ever in the biblical and educational atmosphere. All right, we got the Captain's Corners, got feast days, behind the scenes videos, resources, exclusive camp videos, debates, tribal fitness, and Pillars of Rest videos on there. All right, you don't want to miss out on those. Make sure that y'all are keeping y'all's children on y'all's mind, right? I'm sure y'all do, but still, make sure y'all keep y'all's children on y'all's mind, all right? Especially their academic journey. All right, this world would throw everything it can at them to make them become another statistic, right? It's gonna throw everything it can at them to make sure that they are constantly reminded that they're nothing but a nigga, right? That they're nothing but a wetback, right? That they're nothing but a savage, right? No, all of these things are false, right? Our children, our people are great and mighty. We are a nation of kings and priests, okay? And your child needs to know that, all right? They need to know that their mind is precious, all right? And they need to, soak up as much nutrients as they can, right? Of course, that being academically, all right? And of course, that being biblically, right? I would say biblical knowledge is academic knowledge, right? Go ahead, Huck.
Counter to one. And also, if you were familiar, I said if you was on class last night with SOT Kwashash, Captain Yatham mentioned a very excellent point where he was going into how our brothers are skilled when it comes to things like the 3D printing and when it comes to things like of course modifications on, I say, the wrong things. I won't even say, we can talk about that, but our people are very skilled and very knowledgeable when it comes to so many things, and we have so much potential as a nation. Our youth, regardless of what state that they may be in right now, our youth have so much potential, and pushing them to become a scholar within different things, like of course the academic field, whereas these people are trying to make them think that they cannot do it. Yo, that's going to make great change within our communities, and especially on a biblical level, becoming a biblical scholar, man, right? And of course, most importantly, right, like a applicant of the scriptures, right? It's definitely something that we have to be pushing our children to do. So the purpose of the SOT Scholars Awards is is for that. So definitely nominate your children and definitely push them to be this. If not, if not yesterday, then today. And I'm gonna yield there.
That's right. That's right, man. Right. Salakia. Oh. Okay. All right. Yeah. Couldn't have said it better, man. All right. Make sure that y'all are tuning in to our various SOT channels, as you see here on the screen. Right. We got camps popping up in Fort Myers, Baton Rouge, Chicago, New York, Washington D.C., Quashash. Right. That's the southeast. Arkansas, ATL, Alabama, Cincinnati, Watchtower, the Bay Area, and Jacksonville. All right, make sure that you are liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting on all of our various SOT channels, man. With that, make sure that you are tuning in to the live classes that we offer throughout the week. Excuse me. The live classes that we offer throughout the week, every week, consistently to the best of our ability. All right, you're on Truth Tuesday right here on the Watchtower channel, exclusively on SOT Watchtower. You got Conversation for the Nation. All right, every Thursday night. You got Friday night Sabbath class every Friday. Then you got the after hours every Friday night, right after the Sabbath class, which is exclusively on SOT Bay Area channel. All right, then you got the Bar for Bar every Sabbath morning. Then you got Prove All Things, which is exclusively on SOT Chicago. And you got I Speak as a Man, which is exclusively on SOT Quashash every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure that y'all catch up on the classes if you aren't already caught up. All right. If you want to be a member, right, these are for brothers and sisters who don't want the same responsibility as pillars or as soldiers, but want to be a part of the body in their own significant way. You can become a member. All you have to do is scan this QR code and follow the instructions to join. First, you must be. Go ahead.
Salaki the one. I would suggest this for brothers and sisters that's not exactly trying to put themselves out there to be teachers and whatnot, but more so you're just trying to learn, right? You want to have a place where you can go to people for questions and answers and whatnot. And you have brothers and sisters that, of course, you can call family and whatnot, but at the same time, like the duty of going out, teaching the word and whatnot, that's not exactly your job.
Right.
Right. It's been several brothers and sisters that's, of course, asked about that. So I wanted to say this is your avenue for people that just want to learn with SOT and grow in their walk. This is your avenue right here.
100%, 110%. All right. The requirements are as follows: must be willing to support the body, must keep good moral and lawful standing, must be an active participant in class, feast days, and camp-led events, and must honor bylaws and direction from all ranked members and leadership. All right. The Most High God is a God of order and a God of structure, so we must be as well. All right. And last but certainly not least, if you wish to donate to the body, to Sons of Thunder Israelites, you can scan this QR code. All right, it should take you directly to SOT's Cash App, which is $SOT Give. That is $SOT Give. Again, there is no donation that is too big or too small. All right, just give according to your ability. Okay. All praise to the Most High God. All right. And also, if you haven't already, make sure that you go back and check out the previous class that we had, which was Form Your Community. I feel it goes in tandem as well with this lesson that we're about to do tonight, which is a reaction to Officer Tatum versus 20 black liberals. This is a Truth Tuesday reaction video to Officer Tatum arguing against 20 black liberals. Now, Officer Tatum, if you haven't heard of him, he's a conservative, right? He's a infamous black conservative. Why do I say infamous? Because he's infamously known for his white supremacist talking points, right? Well, you may be confused by me saying white supremacist talking points when he's clearly a black man. Well, yeah, it confuses me as well, right? He's somebody what you would call a coon, a sellout, right? That's what Officer Tatum is, to put it blunt. For those of you that you weren't catching on quick enough, Officer Tatum is a coon. He's a sellout. All right, and we're gonna be reacting to some of the points argued here in this video. And I have to say, Jubilee does a great job on Jubilee does a great job with putting these type of forums together and having the conversation had and whatnot. I think they do a good job with that. So shout out to Jubilee. You know what I'm saying? Jubilee, if you see this video, hopefully this inspires you to I don't know, put something back into the black community, because you use a lot of black faces. You have a lot of black speakers on y'all's panel and whatnot. I would hope that y'all put something back into the black community. All right. Also, I did not forget, guys. I did not forget. I told y'all last week that I would have a list for you of black-owned businesses out of every state in the country. I told y'all that. That list is done. That list is already ready. All right. All we want to do now is make it look nice and put it together as a flyer so that we can push it out to you guys. You can request it through email. We send it to you and whatnot. Right. Told y'all. All right. We all about forming our community. That's what we all about. That's what the Israelites are all about. If you don't know nothing about an Israelite, know that. Know this, that us, the Israelites, we care about our people. We love one another with brotherly love, and we show honor and prefer one another. So we're all about growing and investing in Black, Hispanic, and Native American businesses, all right, and uplifting our people and looking out for the advancement of our people, all right, because it's time that somebody has to start doing it, all right. Our civil rights leaders are gone. They're gone, right? They're either bought out, dead, or I can only think of probably like 2, maybe 3 leaders, Black leaders, right? One, of course, being Minister Louis Farrakhan, right? Then you got not Jesse Jackson. No, wait, I think it is Jesse Jackson. Reverend Jesse Jackson, right? And then you got the other brothers, Young Cat and Afro, right? We don't have too many prominent Black leaders left, man. Minister Louis Farrakhan, he's in his 90s, man. He's, the Lord is probably gonna call him home soon, right? I was watching a sit down back in 2010. It's a video. It's a sit down back from 2010, and you had Minister Louis Farrakhan there. You had Reverend Jesse Jackson there, and a bunch of other Black leaders, right? Different doctors and economists, all different types of Black leaders there, right? And they were sitting down at a table. They was in Chicago, and I'm trying to remember what it was called. I think it was called We Count, right? It's called We Count. I think that's what the video was called. It's called We Count, right? And they were discussing something called the Black Agenda, right? What is the Black Agenda? The Black Agenda, right? It I want to say was, but I would say is. It is a thing where, Black people are trying to advocate and push forward the advancement of Black people, right? And the Black agenda sparked popularity once Barack Obama was in office, right? So after a full complete year of being under the presidency of Barack Obama, our Black leaders came together in Chicago in 2010 and decided to discuss the Black agenda, right? And something very key stuck out to me that was said. It was one of the sisters that was on the panel. One of our sisters. She said something to the effect of, roughly paraphrasing her, that Barack Obama doesn't have all the power that you think he does. The president himself doesn't have all the power that you think they do, right? And that Congress is the ones that really push forward policies and things of that nature, right? Push forward laws and things of that nature that affect your everyday lives. Of course, the president has some hand in that, right? But Congress is what push. They're the ones who, really affect your today life. So she was saying the president can make our issues and our demands heard and put them to the forefront, put them out there, but it's up to us, the people. It's up to us to enact the Black agenda. What does that mean? It's quite simple. It's up to you as an individual, right? But an individual with a collective of individuals that are like-minded. You're no longer an individual anymore. You're a unit, you're an army, you're a nation, right? It's up to you as an individual to make sure that the Black agenda is brought to fruition. It's up to you to make sure that you go out and meet your neighbors. It's up to you to make sure that you see trash in your community, you pick it up and you throw it away. It's up to you. You see, riffraff going on in your community, hey, you put a stop to it in all wisdom. Keep yourself safe, right? Be safe, right? You're not a snitch for witnessing a crime and reporting it. You're not a snitch for doing that, right? You're not a square because you're not allowing the kids to do donuts in your cul-de-sac, right? No, you're a man or a woman with a vision to elevate and push forward your people, right? And that plays into all aspects of your life. You're keeping the community clean because you don't want the property value to decrease, right? You're making sure that the kids are going to school and not hanging out at the gas station or at the corner store because they're our future. They're the ones who are going to build our future. So you're making sure that their minds are well instructed, right? That's what you're doing. So again, it's up to us as individuals to make sure that the Black agenda is brought to fruition. We can't just depend on one man or a select group of individuals. No, it takes us collectively as a nation. That's why the scriptures say what? Come together, O nation not desired. Right? So, like I said, next week, I'm gonna have that flyer up here on the screen for y'all. Y'all can take screenshots of it. You can email. We can send y'all flyers and whatnot. All right, so that you can find Black-owned businesses near you. Okay. Now, y'all got anything y'all want to add before we get started? Okay, Con.
Lot of one.
All right, Con. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let me go back. All right. So, as I stated before this video, is a reaction video. All right. Where this is protected under the Fair Use Act. All right. This is for educational purposes. This is strictly commentary. All right. For educational purposes. So relax, YouTube. We good. We know what we're doing. We cover our bases. All right. And put some sevens in the chat if y'all can hear the video. Put some sevens in the chat if y'all can hear the video.
Trump was nice to me one time, therefore he's not a racist.
I have no evidence to believe that Trump is a racist.
You because you are
Where's the evidence that Trump is a racist?
Okay, I'll give you more evidence. In 1973, his company was.
So, all right. So, what's being the topic on the table right now, right, is Trump and Okay, good. All praises, y'all can hear. All praises. Trump and Republicans are better for the black community than Democrats. Now, I am not interested. I personally am not interested in arguing, oh, who's better for black people, Republicans or Democrats. I don't care about that argument, right? Why? Because asking a black person who's better for them, Republicans or Democrats, is like asking a sheep, who do you like best, the wolf or the fox? Who do you feel more comfortable around, the wolf or the fox? They're both going to eat the sheep, regardless, right? They just have different tactics. The fox is going to smile, right? But the wolf is going to growl and bare his fangs. Still going to eat you. Both of them still going to eat you, but both have different tactics of how they eat you, right? But the point is, you're still going to die. That's the point. So I'm not interested in who's better for black people, Republicans or Democrats. They're both evil. I don't believe in choosing the lesser of evil. No, how about we do away with evil? The scriptures say what? In Psalms, I believe it's Psalms chapter 5, or is it Psalm chapter 9 and verse 5? It says, ye that love the Lord hate evil. Right? Ye that love the Lord hate evil. So you damn right. I hate both the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. I hate them both because they both have proven to be extremely evil and volatile to my people. Right?
Was sued for violating the Fair Housing Act by openly discriminating against black renters.
What was the findings of that?
He was actually forced to settle.
It was forced to settle.
So what they're talking about right now is Trump being racist to black people. He's saying, prove to me that Trump is racist to black people. Right? So she pulls up the Fair Housing Act. Right? So let's read that real quick. They fact checked the Fair Housing Act. What that say?
For the fact check, it says in 1973, the U.S. Department of Justice sued Fred Trump, Donald Trump, and Trump Management, Inc., alleging violations of the Fair Housing Act in the operation of approximately 39 New York City apartment buildings. The government relied partly on tests in which black applicants were told that no apartments were available while white applicants were offered units. There we go.
Seems kind of racist to me, if you ask me. I mean, seems kind of racist if you ask me, man. That's kind of racist. Now, of course, we have our own stuff that we're going to pull up, but let's keep going a little bit.
Yes, he was forced to settle. No, he had.
There was no finding of fault.
Why would someone settle if they were not guilty?
You can make it.
Why would someone settle if he wasn't doing it?
Was there a determination in court that he was?
Can you read as it continued on in the fact check?
As well as accounts from former employees describing racial coding of applications, including a C for colored, the Trumps denied discrimination, retained attorney Roy Cohn, and filed a $100 million counterclaim that was dismissed. The case was resolved in 1975 through a consent order without an adjudication or admission of liability.
At fault.
Also forced to.
No. Was
yes.
there determination in court that he was at fault?
He settled, so they didn't have a determination in court. He got out of it by settling, which is what you do when you are guilty, but you don't want to go to court.
That's not the
yes,
way
that is exactly what the point of settling is. Yes,
no,
you
it's
settle
not.
out. Yes.
He had a dissent decree, which they agreed that he would implement certain things in his organization. There was no fault granted. They did not prove.
What were the things that he had to implement in his company?
Recruiting. It was a form of it was that
I think you're thinking about a different lawsuit against the Trump administration.
He had to make sure that they have job applications available to minorities.
No, this wasn't about jobs. This was about the Trump Corporation, the real estate. Yes, they violated the Fair Housing Act because
maybe we're talking about something different.
Well, there were 2 times he was sued for racism.
I only know of one time.
Yeah, well, you should learn about the other one because it was bad too. Yeah,
I don't think you know what you're talking about.
I don't think you know.
The dissent decree, which was established, there was no findings of Donald Trump being a racist.
He says, I don't think you know what you're talking about, but yet he literally just openly admitted to not knowing the lawsuit that she's referring to. He literally just said, we're talking about something different. How are you going to accuse her of not knowing what she's talking about if you're not even aware? You didn't even know that existed. You didn't even know that lawsuit happened.
And his organization has been without fault.
No, that was.
You cannot find a court document that says that Donald Trump officially discriminated against anybody.
He literally marked.
What's your next one?
He literally.
That's true. That's true. People settle not because of guilt, but to keep from feeding the shark frenzy. That's true. So I would say it's like, it really depends. I wouldn't sit here and say, people settle out of court 100% of the time because they're guilty. I don't believe that. I think I agree with that. I think sometimes people settle out of court just because they don't feel like going through the long, drawn out process. They probably feel as though it will cost me more money to continue on in this trial than it would to just, here, take your money, leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? So, that is true. That is true to a degree, right?
Marked black applicants.
What's your next one? What's your next example of Trump being a racist?
When he reposted the Obamas as monkeys.
Now
Now, the brother asks. I hesitate calling him a brother. Listen, I believe Officer Tatum is an enemy to my people. Straight up. I believe Officer Tatum is a consistent enemy to our people. I believe that Officer Tatum is the let me take this off screen so you can see me real quick. Because I mean this when I say this. I believe Officer Tatum is an enemy to our people. And that you must use extreme caution when dealing with this individual. Why? Because he has this, granted, but he doesn't have this. He doesn't have your mind. He doesn't think like you. He thinks like his oppressors. He thinks like his handlers, right? They have Officer Tatum. When you watch Officer Tatum, you're witnessing a perfectly crafted and refined slave, right? Or a guard dog. You're watching a perfectly crafted and refined guard dog, right? Officer Tatum is the type of person who will argue you down to if you're talking about the atrocities of slavery and its lasting impacts into today's society, he will argue you down on trying to disprove you, on trying to discredit you, on saying how those claims are not true. He will argue you down, right? He is the perfectly crafted black individual that white America wants. White America wants all black people to be like Officer Tatum. Racism does not exist. Oppression to black people does not exist. black people are just lazy and they complain and they're entitled. That's what white America wants for all black people. That's why they send people like Charlie Kirk to your child's institutions to indoctrinate them.
It's a lucky one.
Go ahead.
Because that's something that cannot exist without the help and aid of your own people. Like, their oppression can't do anything without, again, there being some of your people going along for the same thing. We've seen that in the Maccabees. We've seen that within our communities even today. We got people caping for them. And of course, they're trying to make you blind to the truth that you see with your own eyes, right? But nah, if you're upset with the things that you're seeing, it's not for no reason, but the scriptures already told you. It's because that oppression makes a wise man mad, right? Let me yield there.
Yo, Officer Tatum is the type of guy that will sit on live TV while talking to Netanyahu when he's recounting his time in Israel. And he says how, we were spat on only once, but we had a great time. That's the type of guy you're dealing with. What you mean you were spat on only once? Like, you just said that like it was,
just a normal thing.
It was only one time. Why are you getting spit on at all?
Right.
That's the question. Right? But he defends and protects his white handlers so much to the point where he won't even acknowledge blatant disrespect done towards him. Officer Tatum and his pastor, right, his group that he was with when he went over to Israel, they were spat on by young children. But it happened only once, guys. It's no big deal. That's the type of guy that you're talking to. So I would advise my people to use extreme caution when dealing with this guy. Because again, I view him as an enemy of our people. I don't think that he has our people's best interests in heart. I think that he only looks for the approval and the uplifting and the advancement of his white handlers, right? Who kills the most young black men in America? Asking for a friend. Now, this conversation is going to come up later on in this video, and I hope you stick around. I hope you stick around, right? See, what y'all are going to find out here is with the Israelites, we don't fold, all right? And we research and we fact check, okay? So you can try your best with coming over here with your, with your loud mouth and your white supremacist rhetoric and talking points. You can try that if you want, right? But I'm telling you right now, it's not going to end well for you, okay? So I pray you stick around, Eric. Stick around, and you'll get your answer.
He already said that he did not post that. It was somebody on his staff, and the post wasn't even about that. That was a real.
It was on his account.
And then when it came out, he denounced it. He said it was wrong.
It was on his account already.
One of the staffers posted it.
Why would one of his staffers even have that? Even if it wasn't him,
you're making the
why
post
would
sound
he
like
not
the post was
post it?
about that. It was a meme created by somebody else. And
Are you really depicting black people as monkeys? Like, that's crazy.
And Hillary Clinton.
Crazy.
And Hillary Clinton was a pig. And it was all kind of people depicted as animals. It wasn't just about Barack Obama.
See, this is the type of guy that you're dealing with. Well, they were all depicted as animals. So you're gonna pretend like black people being called monkeys or being compared to monkeys and apes. Like, you're gonna pretend like that has never been a historical negative racist trope against black people. You're gonna pretend like that never happened. You're going to pretend that it's just, it was just coincidence that they were depicted as apes. Because everybody was depicted as animals. You got pigs here, you got this there. So yes, to answer the sister's question, yes, he's going to sit there and try to defend why the Obamas were depicted as apes. Yes. But to answer your question, Tatum, prove to you that Donald Trump is a racist, no problem. For those of you that didn't know, the Central Park Five. The Central Park Five was a group of 5 black teenagers who were falsely accused of beating and raping a white woman who was jogging in Central Park. Now, Donald Trump spent roughly $85,000 on magazine ads calling for the death penalty of these 5 young men, of these 5 young brothers, calling for the death penalty when there was zero evidence found of these young men doing these atrocities to this woman, right? The only thing that they had was a forced confession. These young men were forced to confess to the crime by law enforcement officers through coercion and intimidation. All that was brought out during the case, right? I want y'all to watch this video real quick. Quick 4-minute video, right? Put 7s in the chat if y'all can hear.
You better believe that I hate the people that took this girl and raped her brutally. You better believe it.
The vicious rape and beating of a 30-year-old investment banker, Tricia Miley, who was jogging in Central Park last night. 5 youths are in custody and are being questioned. The youngest is only 13.
Trump put his money where his mouth is by taking out this full-page ad in 4 New York City newspapers. Bring back the death penalty.
When I first saw this ad that Donald Trump made, I knew that this famous person calling for us to die was very serious.
5 teens between the ages of 15 and 17 were charged with numerous rape, sodomy, and assault counts.
In 1989, myself and 4 other individuals were arrested and falsely accused of raping the Central Park jogger in a case that became widely known as the Central Park jogger case. We became known as the Central Park Five. In 2002, we were found to be innocent after the real perpetrator came forward, and that was confirmed by DNA evidence.
All of the defendants gave videotaped statements to police implicating themselves or others, but some of their attorneys charged today that police obtained the confessions by force.
People wanted to see how the justice system would work. And so they were looking at this case as a litmus test to see whether the justice system would actually be just or not. And it became very clear that there was this huge black and white kind of thing. These black and brown individuals had raped a white woman in Central Park. That was the worst thing that anyone could have ever done.
What are you afraid of for our city?
This racism, I'm hoping doesn't break out into another racism thing like back in the 60s.
There are other worse things that are happening in the city. And when it happened to a black, they never do the media's never here.
You know, back in 1989, there was a huge divide when you think about the haves and the have-nots, the tale of two cities of sorts.
Most people know why this man is too famous.
In May of 1989, Donald Trump read an ad that ran in all of the major newspapers. In this ad, he basically was saying, bring back the death penalty. Bring back our police. Common citizens were not given the opportunity to make their own judgments. Common citizens were being manipulated and swayed into believing that we were guilty. The simple premise was that if your name was in the paper, if you look like a criminal because of the color of your skin, well, you have to be guilty. So Donald Trump, he was the fire starter, I would say. Because when you think about going to jail for a crime that you didn't commit, 1 day in jail is too long. When we won the lawsuit, his stance was, that we pulled off the biggest heist in New York City's history. But to see that he has not changed his position of being a hateful person, to see that he has not changed his position of inciting people, to see that he's still the same person, and in many ways he's perfected his sense of being that number one inciter. What would this country look like with Donald Trump as being the president? That's a scary thing. That is a very scary thing. What would the world do in response to that? Man, I can't even imagine.
Well, here we are, the big 2-6, with the orange man in office. The man just told y'all, the man who's a part of the Central Park Five just told y'all, we won the lawsuit, acquitted, found not guilty, yada yada whoop whoop, right? $40 million they won in the lawsuit. So even after the lawsuit, they were awarded $40 million. The real perpetrator came out, confessed to his crimes, and his DNA matched with the DNA evidence found at the crime scene and on the woman. Donald Trump still didn't change his position. And he even accused these men of pulling off the greatest heist in New York history. Excuse my French, but that's pretty fucking racist. You wanted racism, right, Mr. Tatum? Here you go. Here's another one. Here you go. Here you go. Here's another one. Can you read that for me, Elon?
Got another one.
Oh, let me, my bad. Share my screen. There we go. All right.
This is from Business Insider. Former Trump Organization VP Trump said he didn't want people thinking Trump Towers are being built by Black people. Wow.
This is from a former Trump Organization vice president. What's this person talking about? What are they talking about? Read on.
A real estate executive who worked at the Trump Organization says President Donald Trump once complained about seeing a Black construction laborer working on one of his buildings. Barbara Rez, a former Trump Organization vice president, told a Daily Beast podcast that Trump said, "I never want to see that again. I don't want people thinking Trump Towers are being built by Black people," Rez recalled Trump telling her. Rez also described Trump as saying he didn't want Black people in his building lobbies. "Millionaires are coming into my apartment," she said Trump told her once. Neither the White House nor the Trump Organization immediately responded to requests for comment from Business Insider. Rez, who oversaw construction and development for the Trump Organization, is the author of a book called Tower of Lies: What My 18 Years of Working with Donald Trump Reveals About Him. In an interview with Business Insider last month, Rez said Trump refused to listen to expert advice, hired unqualified people based on how loyal to him they appeared, disrespected his employees, and used racist language.
Now, here we are in the big 2-6 yet again, and Trump is still hiring unqualified people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got RFK Jr. over your health department. How? Doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, the man was literally telling you to inject yourself with hand sanitizer and stuff like that during COVID. What are we doing? What's happening? I mean, you got people like Elon Musk appointed him over the I forget the exact acronym or term for it, but appointed him over essentially the government's finances and whatnot. Elon brought his Doge buddies up in there. They were supposed to be finding out some type of misuse of money, and they were supposed to be giving that money in the form of stimulus checks out to the people. That never happened, you know. If anything, you know, prices just have been going up and up and up. Pay has remained the same, you know. So what's your boy Elon doing up in there, man? It seems pretty unqualified to me. You know, it's clearly just, you know, putting people by his side who are loyal to him. I mean, that's obvious in this current political environment, right? The Republican Party is split in two. You got the MAGA Republicans, and then you got the Orthodox Republicans, I guess you'll call them, fighting each other at each other's throats, right? This kingdom is coming down. Bashum Mashiach Yahushua, right? But Trump, you don't want people to know that black people are building up your tower? Trump, black people are responsible for civilization itself. Black people are the ones responsible for your understanding of modern science and mathematics. You know? You remember Egypt, right? And the Great Pyramids, you know, something that y'all love to try to whitewash. We all had that same white man with the damn Egyptian crown on. We all had the same white man in our textbooks. I think it was on like page 43, right? In your history textbooks, the white man with the Egyptian thing on. Yeah, y'all wanted us all to believe that, you know, ancient Egypt was built by either white people or by aliens, because it cannot be built by black people. It has to be done by some otherworldly beings, right? It could not. It's black people. Come on. This is black people. Black people aren't smart enough or advanced enough to build something so great. So it had to have been aliens, right? That's what the History Channel tried to tell us, right? You know, all these different extravagant architectural designs that you know of today, it's responsible. It's come to fruition by black people. You know, so that's pretty racist if you ask me. I don't want black people building my tower. I don't want people to know that black people are building my tower. Hey, get the black people out of the lobby. I got millionaires coming here. I mean, you know, hey, and this is from somebody who worked closely with Trump. I mean, Tatum, Tatum, come on, man. You wanted proof that Trump is racist. What are we doing, man? You know? What are we doing? Let's go back to the video. Let's go back to the video. It's crazy. Right? Can y'all hear me? I got froze up a little bit. Can y'all hear me?
Got another one. I'll give you.
Got another one.
What's the biggest threat to a young black man today? A white man or a white woman. That is the biggest threat to a young black man today. The biggest threat to a young black man today is the United States government. That's the biggest threat to a young black man. What you want to argue, Eric Johnson, you want to argue, proximity killing, right? In the black community, obviously, black death is going to be higher because it's a black community. Likewise, in a white community, white death will be higher and done by white people because it's a white community. Likewise in the Asian community, likewise with Arabs or whatnot, right? Matter of fact, let me ask you this, Eric. Who is the biggest threat to a young Ukrainian's life? Let me ask you that, Eric, since you got so much to say. Right? And see, this statement just proved my point. You're trying to mock my statement, but you're proving my point. It ain't a bunch of white women running around the hood. It's a bunch of black people running around the hood. So, of course, killings of black people is going to be done more by black people in a black environment. Just like killings of white people is going to be done more by white people in a white environment, because that's the environment. You see what I'm saying, guys? Like, you know, these racists, they don't have good talking points. That's why you got to come to SOT and learn how to combat these talking points, right? Because they're very easy to refute. I'm glad you were honest with my question. Yes, Russians, right? Russians. Thank you for answering my question. Right? Now that's a good question, Nayal. You should answer that, Eric. Who has taken more black lives than white people? Because I don't remember black people collecting white people from the coasts of Europe and transporting them on cargo ships across the Atlantic and putting them in chattel slavery. And I don't recall black people bombing white towns and, you know, carrying out lynch mobs to lynch white people. I don't recall that. You know what I'm saying? So if we want to play the killing game, Eric, if we want to play the killing game, who has killed the most people in the world? White people or black people? Who has caused the most suffering in the world? White people or black people?
And Salaki the one.
Go ahead.
Also, to his question, weren't they sold by Africans? That's not dealing with the direct question that we asked you in concerns to murder and killings. That's more so a deflection. We asked you a direct question concerning the killings and, of course, the taking of lives between, of course, these different communities, these different race groups. You got to deal with that question first.
Of course. But he's not going to, Quab. He's a low level. It's a low level guy, right? And these lessons are so important because it teaches our children, it teaches our youth, and those of us who don't have the tact or the skill to deal with these kinds of verbal conflicts, right? We want to make sure that y'all are prepared and equipped with the data and with the historical knowledge, all right, and with the common sense knowledge of how to break down these racist talking points that are specifically designed and socially engineered to convince you that you, black man, black woman, you're the problem with the world. And that has always been a lie. That has always been a lie, right? You are not the cause of 2 major world wars. No, you're not. You are not the cause of global warming. No, you are not. You are not the cause of animals going extinct. No, you are not. You are not the cause of outbreaks and plagues. No, you are not. You are not the cause of world hunger. No, you are not. You are not the cause of our water source being polluted. No, you are not. You are not the cause of data centers sprouting up in every part of the United States that's taking away all the drinking water. No, you are not. You are not the cause of those things. right? You are not the cause. You are not the ones who are flying down to Colombia and importing mass amounts of cocaine into the United States to fund your secret war in Nicaragua. You are not the cause of the war on drugs, of the crack epidemic. You're not the cause of that. No, you're not. You're not the one bringing crates of guns and dropping them off in the hoods in Chicago like it's a Call of Duty lobby. You're not the cause of that suffering. No, you're not. You are not what's wrong with this world. You are not the reason why the world is sick. Black man, Native American man, Hispanic man, woman, and child. They are. So-called white man is. Okay? I get that straight.
No sound of the one. Select the one. No sound.
Cap, can you hear us? I don't think he can hear.
There's no sound?
La the one on the video.
All right, hold on. Do this. Really, I mean, during that part, they weren't really talking about nothing for real. They were really still just going back and forth about Trump's post of the Obamas depicted as apes, right? That was really all they was talking about, right? There's a portion I want to skip. I think it's this guy.
Officer Tatum, we have to pause here. All right, you have been voted out by the majority. Thank you so much for your time. If you would like to be the next debater, get to the.
Oh, hold on, no, I know what portion. We're going to the next portion, right?
Good in the black community than harm.
All right, if you would like to be the next debater, get.
So the topic now is police officers. This is Tatum's claim. Police officers do more good in the black community than harm. Right?
To the chair in 3, 2, 1.
I want to hear why you think that police do.
Guys, look, listen. Don't argue with the trolls in the chat. Check it out, right? This is why I said Tatum is he's the perfectly crafted coon, right? This is white America's CIA, FBI, right? This is their finished product of a docile and in-place Negro. That's Officer Tatum, right? And because we're covering because we're covering Officer Tatum and refuting his talking points and debunking his talking points, because we're doing that, right? Because that's important for the minds of our children, because Officer Tatum has a mass following with the youth, right? Because we're doing that, now all of a sudden, when we never really get trolls in the chat, ever, very rare, and when it happens, it's very, very small. Now we all of a sudden, we got trolls in the chat, like Eric and some other guy, right? See, they say things like this, right, when they can't refute the points that are being brought out, when they can't refute the facts that are being brought out. This is the this is the display of a fool, of a peon, a peasant, right? You know, so it doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. Yeah, my smoke detector is chirping. I got to change the batteries. I'm supposed to be offended by that? That's supposed to hurt my feelings, guys. That's supposed to make me look in the mirror and say, damn, I'm nothing but a black. Right? But no. See, I have a high sense of racial integrity and what's the word? Uh, 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 what's the word? I have high racial esteem. That's the word I was looking for. Esteem. Right? So things like that don't affect me. They shouldn't affect you either. Right? Like the Adam I was teaching, we're a nobility. We are a noble people. Right? So stuff like that is beneath me. Is lowly talk. The ones who roll around in the mud and in the mire with the pigs, like people like Eric and the other person, that's their speech. That's their talk. Right?
And Salaki the one.
Go ahead.
And it's funny that they want us to speak. They're so hurt in the chat. They want us to speak. When it's because they can't even deal with what it is that you bringing out. It's like, bro, we seeing you.
Right.
We listening, we locked in. And it's like, yo, we asked you several direct questions and you haven't answered not one of them.
Well,
on top of that,
he answered one.
He did.
He answered one.
I'll be fair. Salakia. That's my mistake. But when it comes to the main point we was trying to get to, when it comes to the killings, it's like you're not trying to address that. So if you're not trying to address it with the Captain Kayad, you're definitely not going to address it when we try to bring it to you, right? And of course, it's like, yo. Anyways, what's next? I'm gonna yield there.
I love this point, Niall. So again, he's trolling, right? Saying the word I'm looking for is victim. Well, Eric, I would say one who is, I would say one who has a victim mentality is a white man who says that reverse racism is happening to him. Okay, so since it's reverse racism, so then you acknowledge that systemic racism is a thing. Okay, appreciate that. So you acknowledge that racism is a tool, is a power tool used by white people against black people. I'm glad you admit that. Thank you for admitting that. Right? Victim mentality, a victim mindset is a white person thinking that, oh, black people should really stop talking about slavery and racial inequalities because it doesn't make me feel okay. I don't feel okay. That's a victim mentality, right?
Yeah.
I would say black people have the complete opposite of a victim mentality because despite the hundreds and hundreds of years of brutal oppression that we have faced in the United States of America, despite that, we still have found a way to strive for greatness and break all kinds of records and invent all kinds of different things and contribute so greatly to society and to the modern amenities that you use today. We've made those things. Despite all of that brutal oppression, we've done these great things. So, who really has the victim mindset? Who really has the victim mentality? Would you go to a Jewish person and say, "Hey, stop talking about the Holocaust"? That's having a victim mindset. Would you tell them to do that?
Hey, listen.
I got you, Quab. Would you tell the Irish to stop talking about the discrimination and the oppression that they were facing from the British? That was hundreds of years ago. That's a victim mentality. Would you tell the Irishman that? I wonder. Right? Go ahead, Art.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna come over here and tell us about what a victim mentality and what it is that was happened all those years ago, you got to go and tell them that same exact thing. You got to leave this live and go to those live streams and go to tell them that same exact thing, right? Else you be a hypocrite, and I'm yield there.
Hey, I don't know if I have the ability to make people mods on like while I'm on stream.
You got to use your own. You got to use the SOT Watchtower page. You can't do it from the StreamYard.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll do that in a minute, Nayal and Yatham. I'll do that in a second. Okay. You know, after
But
we
it
get
is
done,
something I can do.
huh?
I said it is something that we can do from the StreamYard, though.
Okay. What's that? Oh yeah. Put niggas in timeout. Hold on, let me put these niggas in timeout because I don't know who you talking to.
Yeah.
Actually, you're banned. You're done. You out of here. I'm gonna keep Eric because I like kicking him around. I like kicking Eric around. I don't know who you talking to either, Shawty. I don't know who you talking to. I'm gonna
Yo,
just
and
put
if
you in
this
timeout,
is also another thing too, it's like this is True Tuesday Reacts. If you weren't aware, this is True Tuesday Reacts. If you want to go see the full video, please do. Go to Jubilee's channel and go to Surrendered. Or it's like it's Surrounded, where it's Officer Tatum versus 20 black liberals. Go watch the full video for yourself. But if you want to watch a reaction, then watch a reaction, right? Like what? Like y'all got to know what y'all tuned into. I'm gonna yield there.
Yeah. 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 You know what I'm saying? Hey man, yeah, it must be a lonely night, Quab. I mean Elon. It must be a lonely night for some. You know, they ain't, you know, they KKK buddies didn't hit them up to go shoot some pool together. You know, they hurting right now, man. The best they got is to talk about my chirping smoke detector. That's the best they got. Gotta do better, man. Right? Let's get back to it.
More good in the black communities than harm.
Well, when you look at the functionality of law enforcement, meaning that the people who perpetuate crime in the black community are arrested by law enforcement officers, removing them from the community, removing the predators, the drug dealers, and all of that from the community, which is a good thing. And I cannot name other things that are harmful that outweigh all of the good that the police officers do.
How did the police first come about?
But you be more
Slave
detailed.
patrol.
That's
The slave
that's
patrol,
not true.
yeah, it's
The police.
literally
That's two different
Fact check it.
functionalities.
You
They can
fact
fact check it.
It's
There's
the
So he says that's not true. The slave patrol didn't birth modern policing. Okay, what does the fact check say?
So the fact check: slave patrols were a foundational precursor to policing in the South, where they enforced slavery by capturing escaped enslaved people, suppressing resistance, and policing black life. In the North, modern policing grew more from night watch systems and port and city patrols. Northern policing was not racially neutral, however, as officers also enforced fugitive slave laws and other discriminatory controls over black people.
Hey Eric, what is a victim? What is a victim? What is that? Are you intelligent enough to tell me what a victim is? Because
Or is that just something prepared?
Right. Because I can speak to you from my lived experience as well as my ancestors' lived experience. Let me tell you a little something, right? You know, from the 1600s to the late 1800s, black people were enslaved in the United States. They were victims of brutal oppression. Slavery is over. Now you're in the Reconstruction era and the Jim Crow era. That lasts for about 100 years. The Jim Crow era was brutal, horrific oppression. Black people, they were the victims of brutal, horrific oppression for another 100 years, right? Okay, Jim Crow era is over. Civil Rights Act has been passed. Okay. Black people were victims of brutal oppression during the war on drugs, a manufactured war to supply and fund an illegal war taking place in Nicaragua. Okay, the crack era is over. Let's deal with the children of the crack era, who has either came out as crack babies or grew up with no father in the house because of the welfare state, right? The mandates that required, if you want these benefits, the man can't be here in the house, different things like that, over policing, right? So the family structure, the family unit isn't intact, it isn't whole. So now these children are growing up dysfunctional, and they're having children who will be dysfunctional because they themselves were dysfunctional. Those are the after effects of brutal oppression. Those are the children of victims of brutal oppression. Those children who are receiving the effects of that brutal oppression are victims of the effects of that brutal oppression. So now what you have to tell me, Eric, is when has the Black man not been a victim in United States history? The United States is 250 years old. We have been enslaved in the United States longer than the United States has been a country. So when has the Black man, Black woman not been a victim in the United States? When sundown towns still exist, when people can be caught on security camera shooting a 14-year-old Black boy in the back, claim self-defense, and walk away, go home. I understand these are questions that you won't be able to field. These are questions that you won't be able to answer because you have a bias. I understand your kind, right? Go ahead.
It's a lucky one. And also a very skewed mindset, especially in regards to what a victim really is and what it is that this guy in his mind thinks a victim is. It says somebody who cries about their situation instead of taking action to change it. That's a victim to you. That's a victim to you.
And intelligent.
And when you take something like that into account, you have to really ask yourself, and this is something that even for somebody like Officer Tatum, the people that were being told and commanded to trust, the people that were being told and commanded to believe, care about our well-being, and of course, our development and our growth, like, no, right? But of course, when their mindset is in a state like this towards you, and of course your struggles, and of course your history as a people, it's just that you cry about it instead of changing it when you don't acknowledge any of the things that, of course, we have gone through, any of the things that Captain Kaya just brought out and explained, right? It makes no sense for us to take you of anybody that we should take serious. Let me yield there.
No, it doesn't. And obviously this person, Eric, clearly does not know who he's talking to. Clearly. Because if he knew who he was talking to, he wouldn't have said no dumb shit like that, right?
That's a goofy answer.
What I was laughing at was this guy right here. This guy's a goof. Look at this guy. Hey, Glenn, this is what Glenn said. What policy would you want the government to implement to abolish the police? Black safety laws? What? Glenn, did you know back in 2020, the government awarded the Asian Pacific Alliance, I believe that's what they're called. They're a group that deals with injustice towards Asians. They awarded them $50 million in reparations for how Asians were treated during the COVID era. Did you know that a hate crime bill specifically tailored for Asians was passed in 2021 because of the racial attacks against Asians during the COVID era? Did you know that? So people who have built up this country from the ground up for 400 years, and after those 400 years of brutal oppression, faced another 100 years of brutal oppression during the Jim Crow era, and then after the Jim Crow era, faced decades of brutal oppression under the war on drugs and other many different racist policies that were implemented. You think that black safety laws is absurd? Guys, this is the level of intelligence with these people. I mean, look at his face. Come on now. Look like he got all his teeth are missing. Look like all of his teeth are missing. You feel me? So this is the level. This like, guys, this is the people that you got to deal with. Like, these are peons. They're peasants. All right? Like, yo, the jokes, you know, they really write themselves, man. Stop being victims, live your life as an American citizen, and stop with the crying. Eric, I want you to tell your people, I want you to tell your white people, right? Your white family, your white friends. I want you to tell them to stop with the crying when black people talk about their experience in America. Tell them to stop crying about that. Why do y'all care? Why do you care? Why do you care that black people are talking about issues that black people face? Why do you care? Tell them to stop crying about it, right? Matter of fact, I got to tell you that. Stop crying about it, Eric. Why do you care? Matter of fact, Eric, why are you here? Why are you here, Eric? You seem to be very interested in what black people got going on. Why are you here? You know, something for you to reflect on, Eric. But yes, slave patrols are absolutely the precursor to policing. That much is obvious, right? Right? All right, this is the last comment I'm gonna deal with, and then we're gonna get back to the video, and I may deal with more comments, right? Look at this guy. Your ancestors' past doesn't matter. We're all in the same boat at this point. I'll give you a challenge. Go and tell the Jewish community that. Go and tell the Jewish community the Holocaust doesn't matter. We're all in the same boat at this point. Tell them that. I want you to do that. All right? Also, Glenn, I don't know if you know how the world works, but the events of the past very much affect your present. You know, just like, you know, how over in Ukraine, you know, the nuclear power plant, how it melted, how in Chernobyl, how the nuclear power plant collapsed on itself. There's still radiation over there to this day. That's something that happened in the past that still affects the present. Likewise with black people, you know, we've endured hundreds of years of harsh bondage, so brutal to the point that it's literally engraved in our DNA. It's engraved in our blood. You can look this up, Glenn. You probably won't, but you can look this up. Is stress passed down through DNA? And you will find, yes, stress is passed down through your sperm, right? So, you know, the hundreds and hundreds of years of oppression and violence towards us, we carry that still to this day. So, no, I fundamentally disagree with you, Glenn. Yeah, I know, Glenn. I know Glenn probably smoked crack. I know. Right? All right, let's get back to this video. This is fun. I'm enjoying myself.
Two different functionalities.
The origins
You're talking
of
about
policing,
slave patrols and modern day policing is completely different.
The origins of
That's
policing
not true.
within the United States of America
That's not true.
derive from the slave patrol.
That's
They
not true.
still use the same badges.
That's not true.
The same, the
That's not true.
stars on the.
That's not true.
Fine. That's
the
fine.
functionality of slave patrols and the jurisdiction
I'm
that
not
slave
talking about the
patrols had
functionality. I'm
versus the
talking about the
functionality and
actual-
jurisdiction of law
it
enforcement
derived
is
from
completely
the
different.
entire premise
That's
of
not true.
slave patrol. That's fine. That's fine.
That's not
Listen,
true.
okay, cool. So you don't think there's an issue with policing in the black community?
No.
You don't think there's an issue with stop and frisk?
No.
You don't think that there's an issue with like flock cameras and geo tracking?
No.
Got it. Okay,
I think
cool.
that helps eliminate crime.
Sure. Have you ever heard of the Veil of Darkness study?
No, I have not.
Okay. The Veil of Darkness study was a study that was completed where 95 million traffic stops were actually checked across the United States of America. Vast pool, right? The methodology accounted for the time of day, for traffic, location, different shifts. Would you like to know what they found in that study when it came to policing and black people?
That black people commit more traffic violations than other people.
No.
That is true.
Black people were stopped for more
Why?
traffic violence. Hold on, I got you.
Because they commit more
I got
traffic
you.
violations.
You don't know the study. How are you going to answer?
I know what other studies and statistical data points show.
Look at how he argues. This guy is ass. He is terrible. The brother in the black cited a source from Stanford, a study that they did called the Veil of Darkness study. And he quoted how they pulled 95 million documents, right, of traffic stops. And look at how quick Officer Tatum responded to. I don't know if y'all caught that, man. Just pay attention to how quick he responds and what he responds with, right? Look.
Would you like to know what they found in that study when it came to policing and black people?
That black people commit more traffic violations than other people.
No.
That black people commit more traffic violations than other people. Right? Look, listen.
That is true.
Black people were stopped for more
Why?
traffic.
That is true. He says no, that's not what they found. That is true. Now it's well, why? Because he's trying to fish for that. Well, it's because they commit more traffic violations than other people. He's trying to perpetuate the idea that black people, the same idea that Charlie Kirk had, that black people are more prone and are more likely to commit crimes. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to push forward the idea that black people are inherently have a criminality to embedded in them, more likely to commit criminal behavior than their white counterparts. That's the idea that he's trying to push, and he's fighting for it so bad. Look at him. Listen to him.
Hold on, I got you.
Because they commit more
I got
traffic
you.
violations.
You don't know the study. How are you going to answer?
I know what other studies and statistical data.
Because they commit more traffic violations. Well, I know other studies. See, so you don't know the study that the brother is referring to, but you want to refute it. Brothers, what is it that we say over here all the time at SOT? In order to disagree with something, I first have to do what? That's for y'all to answer on the panel.
I don't want you got to know it. You got to look into it.
You got to know it. You got to look into it. You got to research it, right? In order for me to disagree with something, I have to be able to understand it. I have to know how to teach their position myself. That's how we're instructed here at SOT. That's how we approach problems in different debates and talking points or whatever. You would never hear us debate against something that we have never looked into or studied, right? Because that's dishonest. That I can't argue against something I never looked into. That's dishonest. Because what if I find myself agreeing with it? So then why am I arguing against it? You see what I'm saying? Right? Don't be hasty. Right? Don't be hasty in your education. Take your time. Right? Take your time. Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question, Eric. I'm very pleased that you asked that question. We're going to cover those FBI statistics tonight. Okay? Stick around.
Data points show.
Okay, then give me another study that actually. Oh, sure.
You think they just pulling black people over just because they see a black person driving down the street?
Literally,
That's
the
not
Veil
true.
of Darkness
You
study.
have no evidence.
The Veil
there.
of Darkness
None.
study that was done by Stanford and backed up by the CDC actually showed that what happens is during the day, police officers use racial bias because they can see people and they pull people. I'm going to finish my sentence.
Made a traffic stop in your life.
I'm literally going to
let you finish.
They pull black people over during the day at a disproportional rate than white people. But at nighttime, when you can't see and it's harder to tell someone's actual race, then the average drops and it equals out.
Okay,
they actually found that in the study, 95 million traffic violations, that when you can't see someone's race, you focus on the traffic violations versus the day you focus on the people.
Let me tell you why your study is flawed.
My study is flawed, but you've never looked into my study. My study is flawed, but you've never looked into it. You don't even know, you don't know none of the charts, you don't know nothing about nothing, but I'm so wrong. You know? That's how it is arguing with these racist white people like Eric. You're ignorant to the history and the realities of it and the effects that it has on our present life, but you want to say I'm crying and that I'm a victim. Guys, listen. When these dogs call you a victim or anything of the sort, they do that to try to discourage you from talking about your lived experiences and the atrocities that you face today. That's the whole point of it. They're trying to discourage you of talking about it. That's always been their tactic, right? After slavery, when you were growing watermelon and making a killing, making a good living for yourself, selling watermelon, what did the white man do? Right? Depict you in blackface, these big, wide, red lips, right? Munching down on watermelon, right? They demonized watermelon. They made it look like it was, only niggers eat that, right? That's what beasts eat, right? What did they do with that? They demonized watermelon, made it a joke, right? Made it out to be a joke, right? So that it could discourage you from selling it and making a living, right? They did the same thing with fried chicken, right? demonized it, made it a joke, right? Because when black people are successful, then when black people are succeeding, right, proving themselves to be better than white people, that infuriates white people. That's why you have atrocities like what happened to Tulsa, Oklahoma, what happened to Rosewood in Florida, what happened to Seneca Village, what happened to Oscarville in Georgia, right? All these different prominent and booming black towns and black cities that are bombed and destroyed, or black movements like the MOVE movement. An entire block in Philly, this was in the 80s, it's not long ago, was bombed by police, right? When you have Fred Hampton being murdered in his bed next to his pregnant wife while he was sleeping. Because all the Black Panthers wanted was their people to be safe. Giving them fresh, hot breakfast for free. Clothes, books, education, all free. Right? So when you're showing, when the white man says, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and you prove that you can do that, they don't like that. Do you understand? So when an ignoramus like Eric comes into the chat and says that, oh, we're crying, oh, we're being victims, it's to try to discourage you from talking about the issues that you face in the society. Well, guess what, Eric? It ain't gonna work here, buddy. We eat, live, sleep, and breathe this work, dude. You're a passerby. You're a burden in the way. Something that's going to easily be skipped over, leaped over, pushed out the way. Insignificant. You're as a pebble in a roaring stream. Insignificant. You don't matter. Okay? Hold on. Hold on. Eric, you don't matter. Okay? I want you to feel that. I want that to resonate in your soul. You don't matter. All right? All right. Glad we come to an understanding. Okay? Glad we've come to an understanding. Let's get back to it.
For one reason, I was a police officer many years. I do traffic stops during the day, and you cannot always tell the race of a person during the day, no matter what. Secondary, I agree. They're secondary. When you are patrolling, majority of the black people that you engage with live in what? Black communities.
Over police.
So you're going to make an excuse. We can get to that.
I'm not making an excuse.
You're making an
I'm just
excuse.
telling you.
When you're in a black community, you only have options to pull over
Give
black
me
people.
any type
Now,
of
let me finish.
empirics that disagrees with the Veil of Darkness study.
Let me finish. I believe that there's clearly a flaw in what you're saying this study represents.
Sure.
Because
How can you
in the
critique
black
methodology if
community,
you haven't looked at it?
in the black community, I have.
That's a good question. How can you critique methodology if you haven't looked at it? Can you express any empirical data that disagrees or that counters or contradicts my study? That's what he asked them. He has not answered that yet, right? look, guys, that hurt him. That hurt him. He typed that with water in his eyes. Oh my God. Oh, that hurt him. Oh my God, Eric, it's all right, bro. It's okay, man. It's okay. You know what? You know, Eric, I think you should go to timeout, man, for using that kind of foul language, buddy. I think you gotta calm down. Look, look, he mad. I think you gotta calm down, man. I think it's time for you to take a chill pill, Eric. See what I'm saying? Hey, man, you know? Hey, Yazbad, it must be the video. You know, we're tearing down one of Edom's top watchdogs, Officer Tatum. Esau ain't like that, so he had to send his goons in here. But see, Esau, you're dealing with nobility, all right? You're dealing with the princes of the power of God. That's who you're dealing with. So your little racial tropes and stuff, that don't work over here, man. That don't get us up and up, like, that don't work. All right? All right? That don't work. Hold on, that says who? Oh, no, Roxy. No, how do I undo that? Oh, man, Roxy, I'm so sorry, sis. Wait.
I can walk you through it in the back. I can walk through with you in the back. I don't want.
Okay, Khan. I could have sworn I did it.
The chat moved. The chat moved, so that's probably what did it. But that don't mean he's safe either.
Oh man, Sister Roxy, I'm so sorry, sis. She can still hear me, right? Like it didn't move her from the channel, right?
I'm not sure. I don't want.
Oh my God.
I thought it was she just couldn't comment anymore. I think she could still hear, maybe.
Okay, Sister Roxy, I'm so sorry, sis. I did not mean to ban you. That was meant for Eric. I'm so sorry, sister.
Yeah, they said the stream went out for a second.
Damn, the stream went out too. Yo, can y'all hear?
Yeah, we good now. We back. Everybody's saying we back. All praise to the Most High.
Okay. Yo, y'all, no, y'all can turn up in my chat. It's okay. Y'all can turn up in my chat. Y'all good. Y'all all right. You don't listen. You don't have to curb your speech too much over here on Truth Tuesday, but still, still have some decorum. You know what I'm saying? You can speak your mind. You can say what's on your chest, what's on your heart, but you know what I'm saying? You don't use the real strong words. All right. After all, this isn't after hours. Okay.
This isn't after hours.
All right. Let's get back to this.
Plenty of other.
You got to trust me, bros.
I did it for a living.
Yeah, that's cool
and
story,
you did not.
bro.
So
I've looked at the information.
I'm telling you why the study. I'm telling you why the study is wrong.
Do you think your one-off experience is indicative of all policing around the country?
I'm telling you why your study is off. When you're looking at patrolling in black neighborhoods, you cannot. How are you going to make a fair comparison to how many white people pulled over versus black people when there's only black people present in the black neighborhood? The veil of darkness cannot get in the minds of a police officer and determine whether or not the police officer pulled a person over because their color or the violation.
It literally
does not.
That's a horrible argument. That is horrible. The veil of darkness study cannot get into the minds of the police officer and determine whether. That's a horrible argument. That's a horrible argument. Because literally what the veil of darkness study was designed to do was, matter of fact, let's just read it, guys. Let's just read it. Can y'all see that?
Count to one. I can read it.
Count to one. We can see it.
All right, let's get that read.
And it reads, Black drivers get pulled over by police less at night when their race is obscured by veil of darkness, Stanford study shows. After analyzing 95 million traffic stop records filed by officers with 21 state patrol agencies and 35 municipal police forces from 2011 to 2018, researchers concluded that police stops and search decisions suffer from persistent racial bias. The largest ever study of alleged racial profiling during traffic stops has found that blacks who are pulled over more frequently than whites by day are much less likely to be stopped after sunset when a veil of darkness masks their race. Salakia. That is one of several examples of systemic bias that emerged from a 5-year study that analyzed 95 million traffic stop records filed by officers with 21 state patrol agencies and 35 municipal police forces from 2011 to 2018. The Stanford-led study also found that when drivers were pulled over, officers
Hold on,
searched the
I'm slacking. What happened? They saying the stream went out. It's showing we still live over here. Hold on.
Confirm listening in the chat, family.
Stream suspended for policy violations. What?
They said it's back now.
What?
It's been going in and out. They're saying. So I think we got to reread that back on.
All of what?
Yeah, let us know what y'all missed.
Brothers are saying that we back now, but
they don't like how we talk over here on Truth to Listen, man. Look, Satan. Let me tell you something. Satan, hold on. Satan, let me tell you something. Hold on, Akin. 1 second. Satan, let me tell you something. Esau, let me tell you something. It don't matter what you do. The truth gonna come out. This is Truth Tuesday with Sons of Thunder Israelites on the SOT Watchtower channel. The truth gonna come out, whether it's from me, whether it's from somebody else. The truth is gonna come out, and there's nothing you can do against it. The scriptures say, for we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. So you trying to suppress my live feed doesn't stop the mission, doesn't stop the cause, doesn't stop what's about to happen to you from happening. I hope you understand that. All right. Now that we got that out the way, let's get back to it, if we can. Go ahead. Well, let's start back at the beginning because I'm sure that's what they missed.
counter to one. This is a report from the Stanford University. Black drivers get pulled over by police less at night when their race is obscured by veil of darkness, Stanford study shows. After analyzing 95 million traffic stop records filed by officers with 21 state patrol agencies and 35 municipal police forces from 2011 to 2018, researchers concluded that police stops and search decisions suffer from, scroll down to one.
Oh, stop.
School. It says police reports find that, wait, scroll just a little bit more. That is one of several examples of systemic bias that emerged from a 5-year study that analyzed 95 million traffic stop records filed by officers with 21 state patrol agencies and 35 municipal police forces from 2011 to 2018. The Stanford-led study also found that when drivers were pulled over, officers searched the cars of blacks and Hispanics more often than whites. The researchers also examined a subset of data from Washington and Colorado, 2 states that legalized marijuana, and found that while this change resulted in fewer searches overall, and thus fewer searches of blacks and Hispanics, minorities were still more likely than whites to have their cars searched after a pullover.
So if Officer Tatum did the due diligence in actually looking into this report, he would have known that the findings that these scholars did when they said that these stops were racially biased and racially motivated, he would see that to be true. Because how it clearly states what? Blacks and Hispanics, they were searched at a disproportionate rate than whites. Even in states where the legalization of marijuana was passed, the overall search in these vehicles dropped because of the legalization of marijuana. But even still, minorities, blacks and Hispanics were searched more likely than whites. Still,
it's like it. And this isn't like, of course, some would suggest in the chat, this isn't something that's from over 200 years ago that we're talking about. 2018, that wasn't a long time ago at all. 2011, that wasn't a long time ago at all.
It's not a long time ago.
Yo, even when we talk about things like Jim Crow, the civil rights era,
That's
and
not a long time ago.
that's not a long time at all.
The people that were alive during the civil rights movement are still alive. They're your governing party. Like,
yes,
that's why it never ceases to amaze me when. That's what I'm saying, guys. When racist white people or black people with racist white minds, when they come to you with these talking points, oh, that was 200 years ago, that was this long ago, that was that long ago, buddy, that was not that long ago. That slavery is what? Slavery is probably, I want to say 5 generations ago, 5 or 6 generations ago. Right?
Right.
That's not long ago, bro.
It's not.
When you really think about it, that's not that long ago. You see what I'm saying? So, like, you know, go ahead, Claude.
No, that's shoot. We just keep reading.
Yeah, let's keep reading that.
And also, it says that was just one of several examples that they found from this 5-year study. This isn't just something that they just kind of just looked at. Just it's like a day, you know.
Right.
You know, this is a really bad day for black people. No, this is 5 years of study and data that they pulled to get these results, right?
Right.
To gaslight and try to make it seem like black people don't go through nothing today, and it's no systemic racism. It's just we're being victims, we're crying and stuff like that. You're a fool, right?
Right.
And the article is going to show you why. We'll continue to read. It says our results indicate that police stops and search decisions suffer from persistent racial bias and point to the value of policy interventions to mitigate these disparities. The researchers write in the May 4th issue of Nature Human Behavior. The paper accumulates a 5-year collaboration between Stanford's Cheryl Phillips, a journalism lecturer whose graduate students obtained the raw data through public records requests, and Sharad Goel, a professor of management science and engineering whose computer science team organized and analyzed the data. Goel and his collaborators, which included Ravi Sharaf, a professor of applied statistics at New York University, spent years culling through the data, eliminating records that were incomplete or from the wrong time periods to create the 95 million record database that was the basis for their analysis. There is no way to overstate the difficulty of that task, Goel said. Creating that database enabled the team to find the statistical evidence that a veil of darkness partially immunized blacks against traffic stops. That term and idea has been around since 2006, when it was used in a study that compared the race of 8,000 drivers in Oakland, California, shout out to SOT Bay Area, who were stopped at any time of the day or night over a 6-month period. But the findings from that study were inconclusive because the sample was too small to prove a link between the darkness of the sky and the race of the stopped drivers. The Stanford team decided to repeat the analysis using the much larger data set that they had gathered. First, they narrowed the range of variables they had to analyze by choosing a specific time of day, around 7 p.m., when the probable causes for a police stop, were more or less constant. Next, they took advantage of the fact that in the months before or after daylight savings time each year, the sky gets a little darker or lighter day by day. Because they had such a massive database, the researchers were able to find 113,000 traffic stops from all the locations in their database that occurred on those days, before or after clocks sprang forward or fell back, when the sky was growing darker or lighter around 7 p.m. local time. This data set provided a statistically valid sample with 2 important variables: the race of the driver being stopped in the darkness of the sky around 7 p.m. The analysis left no doubt that the darker it got, the less likely it became that a black driver will be stopped. The reverse was true when the sky was lighter.
It was no doubt that the darker it got, the less likely it became that a black driver would be stopped. All Tatum had to do was just look at all Tatum had to do was say, you know what? I don't know anything about that. I'll look into that. But he can't be honest, because if he was honest, it will upset his white handlers. For him to be successful in the job that he does, he has to lie. Right? It's just what it is, man.
So lucky, Adam.
Go ahead.
And I know we're not going to be able to watch the whole video, but
yeah,
that's the theme of the whole video. He's just going to lie. Like, he's going to get to a point. He might not understand the data. He might not understand the point. And he's still going to push forward that doctrine that he's pushing. And that's how you know he's bought out. He's going to perpetuate a belief. Even if he doesn't understand the position, he's still going to advocate for the other side, which is pushing forward that whites are better and you as a black man ain't, or a black woman ain't nothing.
Right.
When he gets to that point, he could be uneducated on the topic. He's still going to lie.
Yep. Yep. And that is the future that white society wants your children to have. They want your children to have his mind, that these things don't exist and that they're made up. It's like the elder said, we used to have to debate against truth. Like, black people killing each other is a problem. There is a truth to that. Black people killing each other is a problem. See, like these racist white people are so funny because like they act like we don't know that black people kill each other and that we turn a blind eye to it. No, that's all we address is our people. As a majority, black people, all we address is black people doing wrong to black people and other nations being done wrong by other nations. Us as a whole, we don't address and declare to the white man his atrocities that he has done and that he has continued to do to our people. Us as a whole of black people, we don't do that. All we talk about is the atrocities that we do to each other and the atrocities that are done to other nations by other nations. We care about everybody else. The love for ourselves is last on our list. As a whole of black people, the love for ourselves is last. And the love for others is priority. But Paul rebukes that in the book of Romans. He says, have honor preferring one another, showing brotherly love. Right? Let's get back to it.
If you look at the data
get
set,
in the
if
mind
you look at the
and
data set,
prove that a cop was looking at a black man
if you
in a
look at the
racial
data
and
set
racially
of the
targeting
Veil
him.
of Darkness study, it shows not only the reason why they were pulled over,
How
but
do-
it
how
shows
do
the
you know
ones
the
that were
reason why-
thrown
how
out.
do you know the
They
reason
were
why they pulled over?
disproportionately
No,
pulled
no,
over.
disproportionality
And
does
disproportionately
not
pulled
speak
over.
to whether or
And
not
there
it's
was
malicious.
a disproportion of black violations that were thrown out.
It doesn't matter.
Why?
Disproportionality
Why
does
is
not.
it so many black people pulled over and
because
then
they
so
are
many of the
pulling-
violations were thrown out?
You got to look at it like this. If you're looking at traffic stops across the country, different jurisdictions have different mandates and they have different standards for what they throw out as traffic violations. So you cannot make a generalization across
You know
the
what's
entire
consistent?
country.
Yes, you can. You know what's
No, you
consistent
cannot.
across the entire country?
No,
White
it's not.
supremacy.
That's
White
How
supremacy
is
is
white supremacy
consistent
have anything to do
across
with a traffic stop?
It's literally racism. They're literally trained.
You're projecting
to
your
actually
bias.
go through.
That's a good point. White supremacy is consistent across the country, right? So what does that have to do with a traffic stop? Exactly what the study was showing. Goof. That subsequently, the darker it got, the less likely they pulled over Black and Hispanic drivers. And even in states where legalization of marijuana was passed, they were still pulled over and searched disproportionately. Goof. Damn, you dork. I'm going to start bringing sayings like that back. You doofus. You dork. You dweeb. Damn, goofball, man. This guy is terrible.
Tell me how they train. Have you been through police training?
No, I have not.
I went through police training.
Sure, cool story.
And they do not teach discrimination in police training.
Why is it that police officers spend more time in Black neighborhoods
They're committing more
disproportionately?
crimes.
They're not.
Yes, they are.
Who commits the most violent crimes in America today?
Per capita, Black
Not
people
per
do.
capita, period.
Black people do.
No, white people.
No,
white men,
that's
specifically.
a lie.
FBI
Fact check
data.
it.
Fact check it. FBI data shows.
Yo, Cap, I'm looking at the live now. It's saying stream unavailable.
Really?
Yeah. I'm looking at
So
it live.
nobody can see the stream right now.
On my end, it's live, but it's just not saying nothing. Like it's just black.
Oh. Are you serious? Hold on. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Oh, wow. Yeah. It's not showing it. I went to my other channel. It's not showing it.
Yeah.
So the people can't see.
Lot one.
God, man, come on. Stream suspended for policy violations.
Does he give a reason?
They can't hear or see us right now at all, huh?
Nah.
Yo, fuck you, Esau. Bitch.
Fuck Esau.
Oh, bro. Oh, wow. Damn, I'm going to have to cancel class then. Yo, type in the chat. Type in the chat. You know, we'll have to. Oh. Yo, type in the chat.
It's back on. It's back on.
It's back.
I'm laughing so much, man, because it's just so crazy, man. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. All right, so chat, I need y'all help. Y'all gotta tell me, like, to the best of your knowledge, when did it cut off for you? When did it cut off for you? Good thing it came back to, because I was about to cancel class. I was about to just end it. All right, guys, so we're just going to continue with the video. They were speaking about generalization. Okay, well, right now, they're talking about crime data from the FBI, right? Who commits more violent crimes. Officer Tatum, of course, comes from the position that Black people commit more violent crimes. The gentleman in the black hoodie comes from the position that, you know, no, we don't commit more violent crimes. Actually, white men commit more violent crimes, right? All right, so I'm gonna try this. All right, so we got the fair use tag up. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna flash the fair use warning again. All right. Fair use, man. Right. I mean, we're clearly pausing the video and commentating, and we haven't been showing the whole video. So like, I don't know why they tripping. All right. All right. Oh, we got Eric and Glenn up out of here, Judah. Yeah, Eric got mad because I told him that he did it. I told him the truth that he didn't matter. So he got mad, you know, he called me the P word, you know, so we laughed at him and we kicked him out, you know. Yeah, you know, they probably are the ones who complain to YouTube. All right, so we did the fair use. I'm gonna try playing the video again. If it stops again, if it stops again, you know, we'll just stop showing the video. Talk about some things in the video, get some scriptures in there, and then we'll just shut it down. Okay? If it stops again and comes back. All right, but got the fair use up there. Let's try this one more time. Tell me if y'all can hear it.
FBI data shows that white men specifically commit the most violent crime in the United States of America. If you're talking about property crimes, yes, it's black people.
I'm talking about violent crimes.
Violent crimes, it's white men, including CSAM.
All right, so let's go back a little bit so we can read this fact check. Could you read that real quick, Elon?
The newest complete FBI race by offense arrest data are for 2024. Among violent crime arrests in the FBI's race tabulation, white individuals accounted for 52.7%, while black individuals accounted for 43.2%. Black Americans represented about 13.7% of the U.S. population that year, so their share of the reported violent crime arrests was roughly 3.2 times their population share.
So what the data is basically trying to say is that we attribute more to violent crime than our share in the population, right? I believe that's what it. Am I mistaken? Am I understanding that right correctly?
That's what I'm thinking.
Right? Represent about 13.7% of the U.S. population that year, so their share of reported violent crime arrests was roughly 3.2 times their population share. So yeah, it's trying to say that our contribution to violent crime was 3.2 times higher than our population share, right? Which is a problem. See, look, that's the thing. Like, they like to try to say, "Oh, black people aren't accountable," but you are the people who lack accountability. You lack accountability the most. You decided at the UN, you along with Israel and Argentina, you decided to not declare slavery, chattel slavery, as the greatest human rights violation in history. That's a lack of accountability. You have yet to issue out your 40 acres and a mule to, well, what's equivalent to 40 acres and a mule to the descendants of slaves. That's a lack of accountability because your government promised that. Your government broke 411 peace treaties with natives. That's a lack of accountability. You know, removing critical race theory from schools because it makes your white children uncomfortable. That's a lack of accountability. So let's not play the accountability game. Let's not do that. All right? Because if we do that, white man, you will always come up with the short end of the stick. Okay? Exactly, Cap. We black people lead in exonerations because we're more likely to be convicted of or accused of falsely accused of a crime. We're more likely to be falsely convicted and falsely accused of a crime. Thus our exoneration rate is higher. Right? Also, don't forget this, family. Remember, see, that's why I said this class and this class from last week goes hand in hand. Because remember what we covered in this class. Remember how we brought out how, you know, the manipulation of crime data was being done in DC, right? And Trump sent in the National Guard, right, and whatnot to handle that situation. And the DOJ basically forced the black police commander at the time to resign because they accused her of making a toxic work environment or whatnot. No, what they were mad at was the fact that she was uncovering corruption and exposing people for falsifying crime data, right? They were lowering charges and lowering lessering and lowering charges for their white counterpart, for their white constituents than they were for black people, right? You know? Let's keep going. Right? Let's keep going. Did the live stop yet? Or are we still good? All right, we good.
Still good on the one.
All right.
FBI data shows that white men specifically commit the most violent crime in the United States of America. If you're talking about property crimes, yes, it's black people.
Can you read the fact check?
This is an arrest disparity, not a direct measure of criminal offending, because FBI statistics count arrest events rather than convictions or unique people and are affected by agency participation, reporting, and enforcement patterns.
You see? So when the falsifying of crime data is being done on a broad scale, which is what one of the I forget what the position was, but one of the people in DC basically admitted, hey, this is something that's widespread, right? Those things affect the FBI statistics, the FBI crime data, right? So you gotta take all those things into account. You gotta take all those things into perspective. So when you gather all that data, when you take all those things into perspective, pair it with the historical narrative, right? Then you come to the conclusion of what I would think any logical person would come to the conclusion of, that, hey, blacks are disproportionately policed, they're over-policed, and they're more likely to be accused or convicted falsely of doing something that they never did. On the other hand, white people are trafficking children and eating children, and you know, every school shooting is done by a white person, and 99.9% of your serial killers are white men. And I mean, like, you know, let's not do the who's the larger criminal, because if we do that, the white man's gonna win every time. You know, who started the meat grinder? World War I. It's white people, man. Those are violent crimes. World War II, whoo, violent crimes. Lord.
Yeah.
Slavery, violent crimes. Jim Crow, violent crimes. War on drugs, violent crimes. Police brutality today, violent crimes. You know, the bombings of Palestinians and Lebanese children and Iraqi children, violent crimes, violent crimes, right? So let's not do that.
I'm talking about violent crimes.
Violent crimes is white men, including CSAM. White men, if you could talk per capita with CSAM, you can talk numbers. White men disproportionately represent CSAM and violent crime.
Murder rate and violent crimes disproportionately represent.
You believe in 1350?
All right, we're gonna have to pause here. So I'm glad you guys took a.
You can see Officer Tatum cracked a little slight smirk when he asked him, "You believe in the 1350?" Because he does. He teaches that. He teaches what his master Charlie Kirk taught. right? But he's smiling like that because he knows it's BS. You're saying 100% of the population, 100% of the black population commits over 50% of, come on. And then you try to use that skewed data to try to say that this is the culture of black people. Well, then the culture of white people is child molestation. The culture of white people is sexual assault.
Oof.
Right? The culture of white people is consuming child pornography. Right? That's the culture. The culture of white people is eating people, cannibalism. The culture of white people is grand theft auto. The culture of white people is arsony. The culture of white people is extortion. The culture of white people is usury. The culture of white people is blackmail. The culture of white people is espionage and COINTELPRO, overthrowing governments, overthrowing regimes, regime changes. The culture of white people is inciting riots, agent provocateurs, right? That's the culture of white people. The culture of white people is spreading widespread disease and mayhem and murder. The culture of white people is colonization. We could go on and on. I don't think you want to play the crime game, Mr. White Man. It's not going to end well for you, right? Now we're about to get to a portion
Pause. You have been
Brother Elon highly enjoys.
voted out. Thank you so much.
Give me 10 minutes. I'm done.
She's making up stats.
If you would like to be the next debater, get to that chair in 3, 2, 1.
All right. Everything I heard, everything I've listened to thus far, I think you're full of shit. You're a police officer.
No, give me an example of what I said that wasn't true.
Let me get to it.
Give me something I said that wasn't
don't think
true.
anybody here would disagree that good policing is bad. We're talking about bad policing. We're talking about bullshit policing. We're talking about the kind of policing that puts gentlemen like you and me in prison for unjust crimes.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. That's what makes me laugh when, we speak to people of his ilk. It's like, or even the person in the chat, I think it was Glenn, that was like, you want the government to ban the police? That's how I know you are a peasant and think on the level of peasants. Because no, doofus, we don't want to completely abolish law enforcement, but we want law enforcement to do better. We want law enforcement to have better policies, to have better training, right? We want law enforcement to treat Black people like human beings, which is what they are, right? We want law enforcement to not hold the life of a dog, like a literal dog, like an actual dog. We don't want law enforcement to hold the life of a dog higher than the life of a Black child, right? We don't want law enforcement to shoot our children who are playing with water guns. We don't want law enforcement to break the arms of our children who are complying with police. We don't want law enforcement to pull our children out of cars. What's up?
It's unavailable.
Nah, wow, again?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. Oh no. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Wow.
And you notice the part that they decided to do that on when
we back.
Like when you started bringing that out, like that makes.
Yep.
You back?
Yeah, we back.
Yo, you gotta ask yourselves, why would they cut it out right then and there when Captain Kaya was making it very plainly and clear what it is that we're saying, right? What it is that the brothers' points is, what it is that, of course, our point is when we're speaking about policing in the Black community. It's not that we want them to be dissolved or we want it to be completely removed, because we believe, of course, as Hebrew Israelites, let all things be done decently and in order, right? You need some sort of order, you need some sort of structure and whatnot. But when it comes to how it is that the way that these things have been conducted in the United States, and especially when it comes to the Black community, it has not been fair.
Nope.
It has not been any way. I won't say, I want to quite, I'll even be fair. I'm not going to say, well, I will say if we're honest about what it's been for our people, it's been an absolute nightmare. What happened with the young brother Judah recently? He was complying with the police. Yep. He had his hands up in the air, but yet they still tackled him.
Right.
Why is that?
Right.
And they was cussing at him, threatening to tase him, and he wasn't even the kid.
Wasn't even the right kid. And the thing with that too, Olive, they were supposed to be looking for a runaway.
Yeah.
A child who ran away from their home. Not somebody who just robbed a store. Not somebody who just robbed a bank. Not somebody who just killed somebody. Not somebody who just stole something.
Nah.
No. You're looking for a runaway child. So what you showed us is that that's how you would have handled that runaway child. You would have jumped out your car, cursed at him, screamed at him to get on the ground, and broke his arm. That's what you would have done to this child who ran away from home, because clearly something is going on with that child and they need help.
Yeah. But the problem is when we don't see our needs, when we don't see our issues as human, as normal, when we don't see these different things as of course of importance, like the fools earlier in the chat, then guess what? It never gets addressed. And of course, we find ourselves being gaslit and blindsided by people like, yo, Officer Tatum on the screen. He's telling you to completely ignore what it is that you see with your own eyes. And that's what we're telling us, our people, not to do, right? We're not saying that, of course, that no police. But what we are calling out is, of course, like he said, BS policing, right? And I'm going to yield there.
That's what we're calling out. That's what Black Lives Matter, well, at least Black Lives Matter was supposed to be that. That's what it started out as, I would say. Is that when we were saying Black Lives Matter, we were saying that because evidently, y'all either forgot or never cared that Black Lives Matter. But here you come with your white lives matter and your all lives matter. Not to join or not to bring awareness to that Black Lives Matter, but no, you did that to counteract the movements of Black Lives Matter, to drown that out. Because evidently, Black Lives Matter don't matter to you. Black lives do not matter to you, evidently. Because if they did, you wouldn't have came out with your white lives matter, all lives matter. Well, if all lives matter to you, then you would have aligned yourself with Black Lives Matter. But evidently, Black lives don't matter to you. Evidently, you pick and choose your own battles, because where's white lives matter and where's all lives matter with these white people that have been getting killed by ICE? Where they at? Where they at? See, y'all full of shit. Y'all are. Excuse my French. Dip into my after hours bag real quick. Y'all full of shit. Y'all are. White people as a whole, y'all full of shit. And especially those of you who, it really be a lot of the white liberals. Y'all play and y'all put on a mask and put on a charade of, oh, we care about Black people. You don't. You put on a charade of, black people are my friends. No, they're not. You don't care, right? You don't care because when you want something to change systematically or whatever, you want the cannon fodder to be black bodies. That's why you go on social media to say things like, okay, we get it, black people. Can y'all join the fight now regarding what's going on with ICE, right? Y'all are full of shit and y'all are cowards because you want us to go on the front lines and fight and die for you so you could step over our bodies and not give us anything in return. That's what happened during the civil rights movement. Our black bodies fought, bled, and died so that we can be treated as human beings. You know, Civil Rights Act was passed for all people, right? To come and benefit off of, and who's still at the bottom of the totem pole? Black people. You know, nothing was specifically drawn up and passed in legislation and enacted specifically for black people, for the benefit specifically of black people. Nope. But now you got Ukrainians and Czechoslovakians and people from Uganda and Sudan and whatnot coming over here and calling us black people, calling us lazy when, you know, we built this entire country. And the whole reason why you can come over here and work and have your jobs and this, that, and the third is because our grandparents were out there on them streets getting bitten up by dogs and attacked by firemen, but you're calling us lazy. You want to step on our backs and spit in our face when we're the reason why you can come over here. The disrespect is going to stop. I promise you that. In the day of thy power, the people will be willing. The disrespect is going to stop. Right? Chat, we're going to try this one more time. Let me put fair use back up there. We're going to try this again.
You like to cite that you're a police officer.
I was
cite my professional background.
I was officially.
Let me cite my professional background.
I have been in that profession.
10 years writing policy in government.
You weren't
at
a
the
police
local
officer.
And
But you weren't a
state of
police
California
officer.
levels. And
You never arrested anybody.
You didn't write policy. I did.
I enforced the law.
So, okay, I write the law.
But you don't enforce the law.
You don't enforce the law.
I
you don't
enforce the
enforce the
law.
law appropriately.
You just made it
You
up.
like to use one-offs. Let me use a one-off.
You don't need to use one off. You just make
in the
it up.
city of San Diego, there was a black police officer that sued the San Diego Police Department
Anecdotal.
with regard to, I mean, bro, all day you've been coming up with me. Now
I got
it's
statistical data
anecdotal.
points. Where do you want to go?
Like, I need you to keep that same
Black
energy,
people
bro.
commit
I need you to
over
keep the
half of
same
all violent
energy.
crimes.
And that's the problem with black conservatives like yourself. You don't know how to keep
You're
the same
just
energy.
talking emotionally.
It was
Give me some facts.
me. Well, I'm trying to give you facts.
Okay, come on with it.
You supposed to be a police officer. Hold your head, bro. Hold your head. You interrupted everybody, bro. I got
You're
what,
here to
2-3
debate me.
minutes.
I'm not here to listen to you talk in circles.
But you talking like you was a state trooper, you was a Secret
But I know
Service.
cops.
and
I
them.
know cops all across the country.
But I did too.
I know
I did
policy.
too.
I know.
I
all
do
that.
too.
I get to your point.
You don't know policy because you never written one. He
We're
said,
talking
nah.
about policing in the black community. We're not talking about
I want to
policy
hold
writing.
you to account because police officers like you don't like accountability. So I want to hold you to account. I'm trying to get my story out, and if I can finish my story.
This is not story time, man. The point is police do more good.
The point was
Police do more
The point
good
was with
in the
regard
black
to
community.
training. The San Diego Police Department showed a video training officers of that department depicting black people as primary perpetrators of crime. That's not true. My last guy that was just up here, who commits the most crimes in America?
Black
It's
people
white
do.
people. Name me the last black mass murderer in America.
I mean,
That
it
shot
happened-
up schools.
It happened in
malls.
the hood every day.
I did not.
Look at him. He's trying so hard.
Yo, Cap, that shit went out again.
It went out again.
It did. It did.
So every time I play the video, it's gonna go out. Okay.
It did. It went out.
All right, guys. Okay. All right.
Come on.
That's okay. That's all right.
Why did it start right here though? Like the first hour and 30 minutes, it was good.
I don't know, man. I think it was the racist people, man. You know. Let's see if I'm trying to wait and see if we come back. Let me see if we come back. That's all right, guys. I'm debating now if I should keep this live up or if I should just delete it, you know? But I feel like we've covered some good points, you know. I'll keep it up.
If they allow you to keep the live on the page, what you might have to do is go into YouTube Studio and maybe like dispute something. Maybe not edit it, but like they're gonna tell you why in YouTube Studio. I say if they don't need you to take off the YouTube channel, not the YouTube channel. If they don't need you to take off the video, the stream off the channel, then don't. But I say that's like worst case scenario. But I say until they say something, then yeah. I can walk through that with you as well as getting Sister Roxy unbanned.
Okay. All right. So family, here's what we're gonna do. Okay. The time is now 11:55. It's about to be midnight. You know, unfortunately can't play the video. Because every time I play it, you know, it cuts out the stream. So what we're gonna do is we're going to end the live. All right. And I'm gonna take Clubs of Allah's counsel. I'm gonna try to see if I could dispute, you know, whatever's going on, what's causing them to suspend the live. I'm gonna try to dispute that, and you know, so that this doesn't happen again. You know, we put up the fair use warnings. You know, this ain't our first reaction video. You know, we've done a reaction video to Jubilee before, so you know,
yeah.
I think, like I said, I think the issue was, you know, some racist white people came in our comment section. You know, we didn't give them the satisfaction and they got mad. That's what I think it was. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm sorry, family. Like, and that's, you know, it was a lot. That wasn't even the iceberg for real. Like, barely scratching the surface. There's so many good points in that video that needed to be covered. But hey, man, it's the world we live in, man. The wicked are in authority. Okay, so you know, I'm gonna dispute that, and so that something like this doesn't happen again. Depending on how that goes, I might have to delete this entire live from the channel, or it might stay up. It's undecided yet. So depending on the outcome of everything, you know, we might just cover this again next week, or we might just move on to something else. Okay, family, I'm sorry that that's happening tonight, man. But you know, it's the conditions of the battle, man. When you stand boldly on truth, and you're unwavering, you're unmoving, and you stand bold in what you believe in and what you say, man, you know, it comes with consequences. You know, it comes with consequences. But it's up to you to As
a matter of fact, we're back.
Yeah, we've been back.
Caught it away. We're good now.
Yeah, we've been back for a good minute.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna comes all your live must be tripping there, but like I said, man, you know, we'll see what we can do. You know, keep a lookout, and we will see y'all next week, man. Make sure that y'all keeping up with the feast days. All right. Make sure y'all keeping up with the feast days. Sending your emails to sotfeastday@gmail.com. All right. For the brothers that want to do the work, send your emails to sotisraelites@gmail.com. Likewise, you sisters, sending your emails to pillarsofrest@gmail.com. All right. Make sure that y'all are tuning into all of our various SOT channels, and make sure that you are keeping up with our Patreon. All right. For the brothers and sisters that want to be a part of the members rank, to where you're able to study with us and whatnot, but you don't want the burden of having different tasks like the soldiers or the pillars, or going out and street teaching, you could become a member, scan the QR code, and follow the directions there. Make sure that y'all are keeping up with our live classes that we offer throughout the week. All right. And last but certainly not least, if you would like to donate to the body to make sure that our missions and whatnot are successful, that our feast days are successful, and that we are able to give back to you all adequately, send in a donation to SOT Give. That's the Cash App. If you don't like Cash App, we also have PayPal and Zelle under SOT Israelites. Okay. No donation is too big or too small. Just give what you are able to give. Okay. All right. SOT Cincinnati just dropped a video. Go support the channel. Go support Cincinnati, SOT Cincinnati. All right. Go support SOT Cincinnati. Can I email for a calendar? Sis, email sotisraelites@gmail.com for a calendar. Okay. Email sotisraelites@gmail.com for a calendar. I'm just reading some of y'all's comments. You tired, you don't have to apologize. It's not your fault. Yeah, Satan, man. Satan. Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey. All right, y'all. It's an awkward closing because it's cut short. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties, man. But I will see y'all again next week, Lord willing. Stay in the faith. Stay girded up. All right. This has been a somewhat successful Truth Tuesday, but the truth is getting out there nonetheless, man. So all praise to the Most High God. All praise to the Most High God. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Shalom, family. Love y'all. Good night.
Shalom, family.
Thank you for watching. If you wish to donate, you can use Zelle or PayPal. We're the Sons of Thunder. It's our heart's prayer and desire for Israel that they might be saved. Shalom.